What's up, y'all? It's Jeff Cobb, and you're listening to Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show on Social Suplex Podcast Network.
You're listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Listener discretion is advised at all times.
Thank you once again for downloading and listening to another episode of the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. My name is Clive and I'm joined by my co-host Ricky. How are you this evening, Ricky?
Good evening. I'm doing very well.
Good. Have you recovered from the lack of sleep from last week's appearance on Outsider's Edge?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Still recovering.
Yeah. The lack of sleep wasn't helped with our adventures on Sunday night. Now, you may have noticed quite a wee drop from a certain wrestler at the start of the show from a Mr. Jeff Cobb. That was because Jeff Cobb was at ICW's Shug's Hoose party, number 5 at the weekend. We were lucky enough to see his match. Ricky was lucky enough to get a photo with it, and Ricky was as cool a dude as you can get, and just walked up and said, "Give us a drop for the podcast." So you got your rub with the celebrity. How do you feel?
I mean, it didn't quite go down like that. If only it did. Well, initially, remember when we first walked in, we were actually looking for a Session Moth t-shirt. Well, I was. And then we didn't see it, but then there was a little smaller stack of t-shirts next to the main table, and we saw it, and then you turned around to me and says, I think that might be Jeff Cobb, and you know how when you think you see someone famous or like a celebrity or whatever, that you sort of like, you need to double take, and you're like, no, it's not. So I googled, as we were standing there looking, we googled him, and it turns out, like I say, you just do it just to be sure, because you don't want to walk up to someone. And then walked up, got a photo, and it was just by absolute chance that I came across him again later on in the evening. A mutual friend of ours had to leave early because I think he was waking up very early the next day and he wanted to miss the traffic. So I had my bag in his car and I went out to get it, and on my way back in I wasn't allowed to come down towards ringside, so I had to stay further back. And it was there I spotted Jeff Cobb, and I walked over and just said I enjoyed his match, and I walked away, and then I just says, no, well, you know, I need to go back and actually ask him because it's not a chance you're going to get very often. And like I said, he was unbelievably down to earth, really cool, no hesitation, gladly done it. So yeah, it was a good night.
For us, seeing someone like Jeff Cobb's quite a big deal, because it's not every day that you get a wrestler who you see on the indie scene, places like Lucha Underground as well. For them just to be standing in the middle of a wrestling arena in Scotland, Glasgow, it's just quite bizarre and surreal for us, so it was quite good seeing folk like that. He wasn't the only sort of big name that came in. It was quite a good weekend for imports for ICW over the 2 nights that they had Shug's House Party. So Jeff Cobb had his match with Angelico. Volta was on night 1 with BT Gunn, and Angelico was there. I probably butchered his name there, but Angelico was also in night 1 as well against Mikey Whiplash. So they were all sort of different matches between the 3 of them. The Angelico match was very catch style. Walter's was, as you would expect, really hard hitting, but BT Gunn gave more than he probably thought he would get in. There wasn't a big chop fest as I thought there would be, because Walter's very famous for his chest chops and striking folk down, when it was actually BT Gunn that was getting in quite a lot of the offence there. But that was a good match as well. And the one that we saw on night 2 with Aaron Echo versus Jeff Cobb, that was a part of the show. It was just after the interval, and the show was going well. It was just a good. Grado had come back. Jeff Jarrett was there as well, with a nice wee guitar shot onto Just Justice. So it was all fun and games, and then after the interval with this Jeff Cobb match, it started getting a bit more serious and hard hitting, and that sort of set the tone for the rest of the night. So out of the ones that we saw, we were saying to each other, Jeff Cobb won, that's probably one of the better ones of the night, but there were quite a few to choose from.
Yeah, I completely agree with your assessment there. Jeff Cobb probably was my favourite of the night, I think. Although the main event was pretty damn good as well. We had an unbelievable couple of spots in the James Storm match as well.
Oh.
With the tacks. This is the first time I've ever seen tacks being used, like, live. And when he first initially pulled him out of the bag, and you were like, "Oh my goodness!" And it's when it was actually Storm that took the tacks out and put them on the ring floor. He's the one that actually took the bump through it, and it wasn't just any old bump. He attempted, what was it? Was it a power bomb, like a razor's edge from the top rope?
Kind of like that to Ravy Davy, yep.
And Davey reversed it into a Hurricane Rana and flipped James Storm into the tacks. And I caught that on video, and the moment that happened, the place just fucking erupted.
It's one of those ones where you see thumbtack spots on telly quite a lot these days, especially if you're watching lots of different promotions. But seeing something like that in the flesh is a different kettle of fish. Because
you actually saw the tack still stuck in his back, and like he says, it's completely different seeing it up close and personal as it is on TV.
Aye.
Yeah, like I say, it was quite well paced throughout the entire night. What was it? Was there 7 matches in total?
I think so, overall.
Yeah, there were 7. A couple of in-ring segments. Overall, it lasted for about 3 hours 40 minutes. It didn't feel like that.
I think towards the end... you go.
No, I think we're going to say the same thing, but go on.
I was just going to say, towards the end, we were starting to panic about getting the last train home, so there was that, right, come on, hurry up, let's get this show on the road. But the main event was a match between Stevie Boy, who was the current ICW champion, against DCT, who has had a run that I found a wee bit similar to Bayley's in NXT, where it was just a gimmick, very tongue-in-cheek with the gimmick, but over time he started being treated more seriously. He wanted to be treated more seriously and more respected, and over the last couple of months he earned a title shot against Stevie Boy. Stevie Boy himself has been known to be a bit of a contract collector as of late, collecting people's contracts and stipulations for their matches. So that was the stipulation going into the main event, where if DCT lost, that would mean that he would leave the UK. But Mark Dallas, the founder and promoter of ICW, he came out in a Fight Club, that's their sort of weekly episode programme, the Fight Club, he came out and said, right, both of you, whoever loses out of this match, either one of you is going to lose in the main event, going to lose and have to leave the UK. So going into it, for like people who've been watching it week in, week out, there was quite a buzz going into this match, and it was, as the night went on, it was very shenanigan heavy. You had run-ins from Stevie Boy's stable that he's the leader of, Filthy Generation. So his girlfriend Kaylee Ray, you might know her name, also Kings of Catch, the tag team. There was lots of crazy shit going on, but then DCT's real life girlfriend Viper came down. Viper, who had just recently, like before the match, had retained her women's title as well against the beloved Session Moth, which is a shame, but still happy with Viper winning. So Viper came down, shit hit the fan big time, shenanigan heavy, but DCT ended up walking away with the win and the belt, and it was a cacophony of noise. It was one of those, again, similar to Bayley's first NXT title win. Obviously not in the same level, but you know where I'm coming from, just a general sense of elation. And it's quite interesting because Stevie Boy has been told to leave the UK, but he is in charge of a stable, so I wonder what they're going to be doing with that going forward. But the Kings of Catch guys, they had a really good tag match at the start of the night, earlier on. I'm really enjoying them. I'm not sure if you've seen much of them elsewhere, Ricky, but I would keep an eye out on them. They've actually started their own version of Being the Elite, and they've called it Filth Life. So there's only been a couple of episodes on YouTube, so if you're into ICW and you've not caught them yet, I would urge you to check them out.
Yeah, that tag match was quite good. That was second on the card.
The Hunter Brothers one.
Yeah, you know what? And then after the match, King of the Catch cut a promo, and initially we were meant to be seated like in the second or third row, but when we got there, like it was just so crammed that we could sit down, but we weren't sitting next to one another. There was 5 of us, so we just decided to stand. Luckily, and it was quite good, me and our mutual friend Scott, we were actually stood just to the side of the entrance, next to the door that leads to the changing rooms, the dressing rooms. And after that match, someone came run through the crowd and like sort of barred Scott out of the way and barred someone else out of the way. And we were at first you thought maybe it was security, something was happening.
Yeah,
but
Chris Renfrew it was, yeah.
Yep, with a chair. And then later on, we had a couple other incidents as well where fights broke out into the crowd, and they led through that little bit into the changing rooms, which it was quite cool to be that kind of close to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what was really cool was the title match, the main event, with the streamers going into the introductions. I thought that was really, really cool.
Yes, Ring of Honor style.
Mm-hmm. It was really good to see. Overall, let's say top to bottom, it was a real good night, a real good card. Highlight of the night for me was getting to see Session Moth live. Just the stupid little things that she does, where initially she would get into the ring and she'd start grinding up on her referee. She was just sort of sat in the corner letting other 2 women fight because she was like making faces if she was too scared to get involved. Too
busy drinking cans of cider, probably.
Yeah. Overall, it was a real fun night. I really, really enjoyed it. Like we said, we definitely got our money's worth. And obviously we got to see Hall of Famer and Impact great, or TNA great, Jeff Jarrett as well.
Finesser great, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but let's say overall, a real good night of wrestling. Really, really good. And I was impressed with some of the guys. Alan Echo really impressed me. I thought, like I said, we were talking about Jeff Cobb earlier, that was a great match.
Yeah, Aaron Echo has recently fallen victim to a screw job with Kenny Williams, who's sort of joined the WWE NXT UK guys, but in ICW he's joined the Rudo Sports and Entertainment brand, who's like the heel authoritative stable, and Aaron Echo and Kenny Williams were best friends in that, so Aaron Echo looks like he's got a win under his belt against Jeff Cobb of all people, so that's like a sort of game changer for him going forward, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
So they also had the return of a certain Grado as well, who has been part of Impact for quite some time now. As you would expect, Grado's a bit of a hero for ICW, so his return with the Madonna music, place went into meltdown basically. It's really good. He had a bit of fun with Jeff Jarrett and Just Justice, some guitar shots going on. I have to say, seeing a guitar shot in real life, it makes it seem a bit more violent than it does on TV.
Yeah, I think that's just the case for everything. Even when you're just taking normal simple bumps, you hear the noise and the effect coming off the ring, and that kind of doesn't translate through the TV, just how loud and how sore some of those bumps must be.
Uh-huh.
But like you said, Grado came back to a hero's welcome. The moment, like, we kind of knew when it was happening, because like I said, we had the 2 Double J's in the ring at the same time, and it kind of teased that Jeff Jarrett was going to get involved, or certainly maybe he would be the one that's going to have the match. But then you kind of got the idea, you knew it was going to be Grado, and then, like I said, as soon as his music went on, and as soon as he made his entrance, the place just lost its mind. I was kind of surprised how long that match went on, because I actually turned around to it again, Scott, and I was like, this is going to be a squash. But that was actually quite a decent match itself as well.
Uh-huh.
I don't think there was like an entirely real bad, poor match. Like, they all served a purpose, and they all, like I say, especially in that second half of the show, like, all 4 matches were excellent.
I managed to catch night 1 on their sort of streaming service as well, and even then there wasn't a bad match on the card. They had the tag team title match between Bram, you might remember from TNA. I think he was might have been in NXT like back in the early days. Does that sound right at all?
Not sure, but I know he's Impact anyway. Impact TNA.
So it was Bram and Yeston Reese versus Jack Jester and Sha Samuels. Bram he basically stood on top of the maybe 12, 15 feet speakers, swanton bomb through the table. It looked and sounded like a really sore one, and I don't know how the hell he was standing after it. But it was quite interesting because they're the heels, Bram and Yeston Reese, so seeing someone do something like that, you would think the heels aren't supposed to do the spot monkey stuff, but his character's one of just a nut job, an evil nutcase, so he'll do anything to inflict damage upon his opponent, so a lot of respect for him there. We're talking a wee bit about Impact, and Joe Hendry's doing quite well for himself on Impact at the moment, as far as I'm aware. According to Caleb, Joe Hendry and Grado are sort of being, not a tag team as such, but they're being pals on Impact, and Joe Hendry's sneakily making moves for Grado's girlfriend on the show. And Caleb was wondering if this is making a play for Joe Hendry making a heel turn. He won his match against Chris Renfrew on night one in a Glasgow street fight. There wasn't much out in the street, but they did take to the car park at one point, which was quite funny. But Joe Hendry came down in the match between Ravy Davey and James Storm in night two and just went off his head, and he went hard heel mode. So I'm wondering if that's him sort of maybe not getting practice in, but he's getting into training for going to full heel mode on Impact as well. Joe Hendry was on World of Sport as well this week. We'll talk about that in a wee while, but he's doing quite well for himself for a guy from Edinburgh. He's on World of Sport, which is getting a lot of viewers, a lot of publicity. He's doing well on Impact, which is very popular as well at the moment. So looks like I think there could be a bright future ahead for him.
Yeah, and initially it kind of seemed like when he came out, he was coming out. Obviously, at first he came out to make the save. It kind of felt like maybe they were going to tease a potential James Storm Henry match at some point, but then, like you said, they turned heel. I've not saw anything of him in Impact, so I can't really comment there.
Neither have I, to be fair.
But the promo alone, I really enjoyed his promo. I really, really did. And speaking of promos, Mikey Whiplash was out as well.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if that was earlier in the show or later in the show now.
Well, that was a bit where that Red Lightning guy basically came on and said Mikey Whiplash had teased retirement the night before after he lost to Angelico. But his sort of partner in crime, Evil, she said to him, no, you're not going anywhere. And Mikey Whiplash has done this thing recently where he stopped doing the death matches, but he's went back to doing sort of catch wrestling, and he was lost a couple of times doing that. So he was thinking, right, I've done it all, there's nothing else for me to do. But he changed his mind on Saturday night. Sunday he came out and said, I've still got more moments in me, and I want to do that at Fear and Loathing, which is in December, and that's kind of like ICW's WrestleMania in their calendar, if that makes sense. And Red Lightning came down and said, no, why don't you join up with us? And that ended up in a skirmish with Bram and Yeston Reese coming down to batter Whiplash. The action spilled out the ring, and that made its way to us, where I sort of stumbled, and I think my sister Carol basically careered off into the wall a wee bit, so we were right in the thick of it at that point.
Sorry for laughing, Carol. No, that was excellent, and just from that promo alone, like, I was really impressed with Michael Whiplash. I thought it was a real good promo. You can tell he's kind of a star as well.
Oh, aye, he's
but that was the second moment where someone spilled out in the ring near us, and like you say, it was just being that kind of up close and personal, with that happening right in front of your face was kind of cool. Yeah, like I said, there's so many fun things that happened that night. Mm-hmm. Just like I says, I keep saying it, but just a real enjoyable night.
It was.
And like I says, we also had Lionheart come out. I believe it was that immediately after the first match. Cut a promo saying that, you know, he's been here for a long time, etc., etc., and now he's whoever's the champion at Fear and Loathing he wants a shot as well. So obviously we've got a few months to build towards that, but indications suggest he'll probably be in the main event at Fear and Loathing potentially. Like I said, in Fear and Loathing itself, it's a show that I think we've spoke about maybe going to as well, and I think we might do it. So I think that'll be another good time to go. Sorry, another good card to go see. But obviously we're a few months away from that at the moment.
With Lionheart, our American listeners might know his name. He was a victim of a botched, well, not a botched styles clash in Preston City Wrestling. It might have been 2014 or 2015. He took a styles clash and tucked his head, broke his neck, and he knows that he shouldn't have done it. But there was a bit of controversy surrounding like the reactions from both sides of the argument after that. And one of his colleagues in ICW, Jackie Polo, who's now christened himself as Just Justice, a sort of Jeff Jarrett piss take, he tweeted at the time, "Another retirement looms." This is playing off when Lionheart did actually retire a few years prior to that, but then decided to come back into the wrestling game. And Lionheart read this basically in a hospital bed, neck brace, unsure if he was able to walk again. And as far as I'm aware, that was all a shoot. And they've never seen eye to eye, and they've had a few matches. It was 2-0 to just Jackie Polo over the few years that they've had their rivalry, and Lionheart managed to be victorious on Saturday night, and he actually took a styles clash and kicked out at 1, which was, I think, one of those things I thought at first, oh, what's he doing kicking out of a styles clash at 1? But for me it was the adrenaline of taking that move and the story and the journey that he's been on that whole time. It was like, I just took it, I'm fine now, so I can understand where that adrenaline came from, and he ended up getting the win for it. So that was quite good to see, and it was good to see him challenge for the title in December at Fear and Loathing. So all in all, one of those
what the fuck moments, like where you just completely lose your mind.
Aye, like the place became unglued when that happened. It was just crazy stuff. As far as I'm aware, from what I've seen of some adverts, Lionheart's actually going to be in a ladder match for this World of Sport on Saturday night on ITV. So I just, if you don't mind, just talk a wee bit about World of Sport that I watched the other night there.
Yeah, go on.
See, the actual wrestling was fine. You've got a lot of name value there. As I say, for the British wrestling scene, you've got lots of folk like Sha Samuels, Lionheart. Off the top of my head, I'm forgetting a few of them, but you still had that international appeal. Well, when I say international, I mean internationally acclaimed. So you've got the Grado, who lost his title, and you had a sort of exhibition match between Davey Boy Smith and Davey Boy Smith Jr., I should add, versus Will Ospreay, and that was really good. I knew that Ospreay was in it, but I forgot that Davey Boy was going to be in the promotion as well. So all in all, the actual wrestling was really good, but I was saying to you on text the other night, they seemed to have Kevin Dunn doing the camera cuts because it was far too sort of just jumpy all the time. There was a point where I didn't even know which side was the hard cam because the camera was just cutting about all over the place. And it's just, I know they've done a few tapings already, but I hope they sort of iron that out and just calm down the presentation a wee bit, because it took you out of it. And with World of Sport, it was obviously a big deal back in the 70s and 80s on ITV, a prime time slot, and it's back on the prime time slot on Saturday nights on terrestrial TV. So it's in that spot where at 5 o'clock or something, it's a wee bit before the likes of your X Factor, all the sort of big Saturday night TV shows. So it's in a very impressive sort of real estate in terms of TV time, and they got 1.2 million viewers thereabouts at the live showing. And when you think about that, the size of the country that UK is compared to America, when they get, I don't know, 2-3 million for the likes of Raw and Smackdown, so that was quite a big deal. I don't know how long it will last if it keeps going that way, but hopefully people get invested in it, and we'll see the likes of next week. As I say, we've got Lionheart in a ladder match. The advert showed a suitcase at the top, so maybe it's something like a Money in the Bank briefcase they're going to do. Viper and Kaylee Ray will be in action as well in a triple threat match. I can't remember off the top of my head who the third opponent will be. So, as I say, it's early days for World of Sport. They've done a few tapings. We'll see how the popularity goes, but I think just in terms of that weekend there, we had the NXT UK tapings. Thankfully I've not seen any spoilers yet, so that's quite good. I'm not sure when they're going to be released though. Do you know anything about that?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said there.
Just wondering when have you heard anything about when the UK NXT tapings will be released?
No, nothing. Do you know what, give me a second, I'll Google that right now actually.
Right.
Yeah, just having a quick look, and I can't find it at the moment. I'll try and look, and we might have an answer later on in the show for it.
Well, hopefully it's not too long. But so you had those tapings, you had World of Sport on ITV, and obviously the ICW one's just sort of more local to us in terms of like being able to get to see it and stuff. But it's been really interesting for British wrestling at the moment, and I think the likes of Viper getting her BBC documentary. She's a big name at the moment. I don't know where the hell's going to go when it comes to 2019 in terms of British wrestlers, what the success of NXT UK will be like. Any more of these sort of star-studded imports that we'll get for ICW as well, so it's good stuff moving forward.
I mean, British wrestling has been quite hot for a while now.
It has, and I will sort of say I'm not up to date with the likes of Progress or anything like that, so there's probably a lot more stuff that I'm missing out on and not given enough respect to be honest with you.
Yep, but just sort of the main promotions we're talking about, it's really been on the up for about the last maybe 12, 18 months maybe. Yeah, I've completely lost what I was about to say now.
UK wrestling's cool right now, basically.
It really is, but I had a specific point I was going to make now. I really can't remember it. Oh, that's going to kind of annoy me now.
Well, I'll ask you a question in the meantime. You're saying there that you'd be up for going to Fear and Loathing, and I myself, I'm not long on the ICW bandwagon, but do you think you'll be joining me in regular viewing and stuff like that?
I think so, because it made, I think on the show on Sunday they made a couple of announcements that there was going to be a couple of matches taking place at the next show.
Next tapings?
August, no, I can't remember what date in August it said. I was quite interested in maybe trying to go to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm definitely going to now be more intrigued by it, definitely want to keep watching it. And like I said, the plan is to go to Fear and Loathing in December, and I know that kind of ties in around the time the WWE come over, but you know, like, I would rather go to Fear and Loathing, I think, if I'm honest.
Big news.
Not so much that because I'm comparing it or that I'm down on WWE or anything like that. It's more so just that because that's going to be like a quote unquote like a pay-per-view WrestleMania type thing, and the WWE thing is just going to be like a live event. I understand, like, that's fine. Live events are cool, but I just feel like there could be more, oh my goodness, did you see that, or this just happened sort of thing at Fear and Loathing.
I think as well, with the likes of WWE, especially a live event, it's going to be very family orientated, and you were able to let your hair down a wee bit on Sunday with all the copious amounts of bad language and heavy violence as well, so it's good to, as I say,
it's not even that, it's just
you're invested a wee bit more than just live events, exhibition matches.
Exactly, it almost feels like there's more riding on each match as well. And like I say, that's not a knock on WWE or anything, that's just the way it is.
If it was a Smackdown tape, and maybe you'd
that's different, yeah.
If
it was a Smackdown or a Raw tape, then, you know, that's completely different. Or, you know, one day if we ever did get like a pay-per-view over here, you know, then we'd be going to that no matter what.
You never know, there might be a takeover Glasgow at some point in the future.
If anything, it's probably going to be London again, I'd imagine.
Well, I'm thinking of the UK stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll be I think Scotland might be. I mean, they've not involved in the tapings. It'll go all the way up to December, as far as I'm aware. So
I think it's mainly. I think the furthest north to get is maybe Liverpool.
Mm-hmm. But all in good time. Bit more patience.
No, definitely. It will eventually. Something will eventually come up north of the border. Like I say, just sort of patience. At the end of the day, like, there's no issue for us to go down south. You know, if we were really desperate to go to one.
Aye. Basically, you'll go wherever Session North Martina goes.
I mean, she was excellent. Like, I said to you for weeks and weeks, that was one thing I was desperate to see, and yeah, wherever she goes, I may follow. the way she stalks John Cena is the way I might start stalking her.
You never know, John Cena might think,
Well, it's Session Moss move now. Like, John Cena and Nikki Bella apparently, quote unquote, split up again, so who knows?
Can you imagine?
Maybe, like I say, I think he saw my tweet on Sunday night and decided, no, I no longer want to be with her. I want Session Moth to grind on me.
Do you think maybe Session Moth might end up in Total Divas in the near future?
Aye, maybe. Getting arrested by the police because she's getting too close to John Cena.
Uh-huh. Well, fair play to her. You never know, she might get that one day. Their path may cross eventually. in Bumblebee 3 or something like that.
Some shitty film that he's in.
Have you seen a lot of his films?
I saw... Was it Daddy's Home 2?
Right.
Just pause it.
We are back. The children have been escorted from the building, so all is well.
So yeah, I saw Daddy's Home 2. I think that's it.
I'm not in Irish. I've not even seen the Marines.
Oh, you don't want to. Can't imagine they would be good. Although I did. What else was it? There was a film that he was in. I think he played a soldier of some sort. I can't remember now. Which actually, trailer-wise, it looked semi-okay, but when I watched like the first 10 minutes, it was kind of shite. So yeah, I've only ever really watched one of his films. Let's be honest, he's no Dwayne Johnson.
See, I've racked up quite a few Dwayne Johnson films.
We've noticed.
Skyscraper, that's what it's called, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that a couple of weeks ago. I saw San Andreas a month or so before that. He's doing well for himself, isn't he?
He's making some money, I suppose.
Have you seen any of the other sort of WWE films?
I actually, where was it? Where was this film? It might have been on like Film 4 or something. It was, now I can't remember the name of it, but it was the film with Ted DiBiase Jr.
Oh God, I've not even heard of this one.
What was that one called? I can't even remember what that was called, but that looked terrible as well. Like Kane, See No Evil, or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another one. Was Seth in it, or was it Dolph?
Oh, the Dolph Ziggler one. That's what I was going to talk about there. Have you, Countdown?
I don't even know the names of some of the films.
Aye, that was Countdown, where Dolph was a cop and Kane was his boss.
Oh, fuck's sake.
And Dolph Ziggler was chasing down some bomb guys, and they'd put a bomb in a...
Some bomb guys?
I can't remember the basis of the story. It was pretty dreadful, but there was a WWE live event, and someone had placed a bomb under one of the chairs, and Dolph Ziggler was walking about trying to sort it out, walking about the fans and stuff, and he went backstage and he was chasing the guys, and Rusev and Lana got in his way. For some reason, Rusev had a gun. Don't know why the hell he had a gun. But
why wouldn't he?
Do you think he just walks about backstage with a piece?
Yeah, man's an absolute hero.
But Dolph Ziggler super kicked the gun out of his hand.
Dean Ambrose was in that 12 rounds as well.
12 rounds 3.
Orton was in one as well. But that's right. Countdown Kane and
Aye, cause
try to see.
Dolph Ziggler was in trouble with Kane, and Kane basically looked as if he was going to chokeslam him as well.
Right, so the Ted DiBiase one was Marine 2.
Oh right, that rings a bell actually.
That was fucking terrible from what I saw. Basically, I don't think they've ever made one decent film.
It depends what your definition of decent is.
I mean, something that doesn't want to like make me rip my eyeballs out.
You wonder. I mean, I don't know, as we've just discussed, how bad they are, but there is a watchability about them because they're just shite.
No, these like I know what you're saying. Like sometimes you get like some real bad films, but they're so bad that you still watch them and kind of enjoy them. These are just absolute utter garbage.
I know, but who doesn't want to see Dolph Ziggler super kick a gun out of Rusev's hand?
Me, that just sounds fucking terrible.
It was hilarious though.
Right now it's hilarious, but I wouldn't have found it funny at the time.
Would you just sat there and think, oh my god?
It would have been very, very cringy. It's, you know.
That's what we should do for a podcast project. We should review all the WWE Studios films.
Jeez, they actually had a film called Leprechaun Origins, and it starred Hornswoggle.
Oh my god. Are you going through a list just now?
Yes.
Any more belters on there?
Oh, well, Santa's Little Helper. Why wouldn't Hornswoggle be in that? He's not.
That's Santino and Page.
The Miz and Page, I believe it was. The Miz, yep.
Santino was in Jingle All the Way 2.
Oh, fuck.
I like how they've just hijacked film franchises and made them their own.
I know. That was it. Seth was in a film called Armed Response.
Was he?
Yes. Luke Harper was in a film earlier on this year.
What film?
Mohawk.
It was called Mohawk?
Yep.
Was it about Native Americans?
I have no idea.
Unless it was just an hour and a half.
David Otunga was in a film called The Call.
You're just making this piss up.
I assure you I'm not. That's exactly what it is. It's actually utter fucking nonsense. Like, Vince McMahon has far too much money to blow.
Why would he do he writes people off TV for stuff like this.
I don't know what I'm thinking behind it.
The only time I can think of it, the timing working very well, was when Dean and Seth had just started their rivalry, and Seth curb-stomped Dean through some cinder blocks. So
yep.
Naturally Dean would be off TV for a few weeks, but that's when he was filming that 12 Rounds 3.
That's what it was.
So that was good timing, but you would just write them off completely instead of doing this nonsense. But what they should do is they should put them on the network.
No, they shouldn't. They should just burn it. Burn every copy.
That's a bit harsh, is it not?
No, it's terrible stuff.
We should, you know how What Say You with Brian Quinn and Sal Vulcano did a Fast and the Furious review series project? We should do that with the Marine films.
Why are we still talking about this?
It's a quiet week in WWE, maybe?
I'm not wanting to watch any of the Marines. How many is there? There's 3? 4? Is there 5?
I'm sure there's 6.
4. Let me see if there's 4. Looks like 5. Jeez. And there's 5. The last one was an all-star cast. The Miz, Maurice, Heath Slater, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas and Naomi.
All-star cast?
Well, I mean, you've got the tag team champions. You've got one of the most over wrestlers in the world, and then you've got Heath Slater in there as well. Naomi, ex-women's champion as well.
Oh, they need to get Kurt Angle in a film.
No, they don't. Kurt can barely remember a simple promo, let alone an entire movie script.
Have you noticed, I don't know if this is a new thing or not, but they do backstage promos now, and it's quite clear that they're reading off some auto cues at the side of the screen.
Yep, I noticed that, yes.
I saw Roman reading off one. Kurt was terrible for it. I think it was actually at Extreme Rules.
I noticed the Roman one as well.
But they may as well just hand him a piece of paper.
It is what it is. Or maybe just let him speak his own mind.
With those films, I would rather watch an hour and a half of Vladimir Kozlov in promo class than watch those films.
Right, no, that's what we should do. Actually, that's one of our. We're just giving you notice. We will be watching a WWE film and we're going to review it live on the podcast. We just need to decide which film.
A watch along.
Oh, we could do that. Let's not.
Well, that idea was quickly put to bed.
Because I'm going to be honest, I have no intention to read it. I'll just find a review and just read the review word for word on air. No, that's all. That's all the films I've done. They've made quite a few films, right enough.
I know. I just don't. I mean, probably wouldn't go out my way to watch them, but they do have a lot of shite on that network, so I don't see why they don't just fling the films on. Even if it was, you know how you get those behind, like, what are they called? They're extras in DVDs when the actors of the film do a side commentary thing.
Mm-hmm.
If they did something like that, that would be entertaining to watch.
Oh my goodness.
When Dolph Ziggler's saying, "This is a bit where I super kicked Rusev's gun."
They done one called Scooby-Doo in the WWE Curse of a Speed Demon, and the Undertaker was in it.
I've seen was it a cartoon, because one of my daughters watches a WWE Scooby-Doo film constantly.
That probably was it.
Sin Cara was in it.
Yeah, there's quite a few random people, and there's quite a lot of people in it even as well.
John Cena, Triple H.
Yep, Stephanie as well.
You can tell it really has been a slow week, can't you? If we're talking about Scooby-Doo films.
Let's move on.
Well, there was one thing of note that happened last night in Smackdown, I suppose, with Charlotte Flair returning from her injuries that she had, sort of surgery complications, but she's back. She helped Becky Lynch when she was being attacked by Carmella, and all of a sudden Charlotte got a number one contenders match against Carmella. If she beat Carmella, she would make that match at SummerSlam a triple threat. And this has been quite a controversial move from WWE in terms of fan opinion. Where do you stand on the issue?
I mean, why wouldn't you want the best female wrestler in the company involved in a match?
Well, Carmella's already in a match.
Okay.
I kid, I joke.
No, I mean, like, why wouldn't you?
I know.
Do you know what they've done? It's maybe they've noticed or they saw just how bad the last few Carmella matches have been, or maybe there's in their thinking is that, well, if Charlotte and Becky are in this match, at least their interactions will elevate the match, and Carmella can just be that sneaky chicken shit heel.
Uh-huh.
The story is still going into it is still going to be all about Becky in my mind. Yep. It's a case of she finally got another chance at a title shot, only for her supposed best friend to come in and also steal the limelight. I think Becky will win it. And then in the process, or just after, or at some point, one of them, most likely Charlotte, will turn heel, and then you can get Becky versus Charlotte. I don't see why this is an issue. Like, if you have an issue with Becky versus Carmella because of the actual match quality, well, the match quality is now going to be elevated.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the problem here?
There's two. I can see both sides of the argument. Charlotte just coming back from injury and being put right back into the title picture. I mean, she did leave. Did she lose a Money in the Bank qualifier?
No, she was in Money in the Bank.
I can't even remember that right now.
No, she was in Money in the Bank.
Well, the whole...
No, wait, no, she wasn't was she in Money in the Bank? She was. Who was it? Was it not? Was it not Carmella and Asuka at Money in the Bank?
Uh-huh.
So Charlotte was in Money in the Bank.
Well, basically, what I'm trying to say is the fact that technically she should be at the back of the queue, but we know that we don't get a sort of deserving, like a scale of who deserves a title shot the most. Obviously, Becky Lynch has been doing this thing where she's been winning all her matches and she went about things the right way. But as you said, this is still all about Becky, this story. It might not be her winning the title, it might be Charlotte, it might be Carmella, but it's all focused around Becky, whether she turns heel because of Charlotte quote unquote stealing the limelight, or whether Charlotte turns heel because she wants the limelight and she's unhappy with Becky possibly winning the title. But it looks like over the next couple of months that'll be the main programme going forward for Smackdown. And what I think might happen is, I don't think there's going to be, I wouldn't say focus on the women's matches at SummerSlam, but I think with Evolution in October, I think they'll actually be gearing up more towards Evolution in terms of big payoffs and storylines and angles on both Raw and SmackDown, instead of having wrap-ups at SummerSlam. Would you agree with that? Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, because some feuds, like you say, are going to end at SummerSlam, and some are just going to start. So, one way or another, based on if we are saying Becky's going to win the title at SummerSlam, the Carmella-Becky feud will come to an end, because on SmackDown there's no automatic rematches.
Uh-huh.
And then I think the feud coming out of that is going to be Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. I think we may get, I wouldn't say the culmination, certainly, but I think we're probably going to get Sasha and Bayley at Evolution as well. So yeah, I think a lot of will gear up towards that. But like I said, SummerSlam is also going to be like the closing and the starting of feuds as well. But just to go back to that triple threat, like as I say, is Charlotte being in that match elevates the match quality, and what it also does, it hides Carmella's deficiencies, and you would just maybe have it look like, in a sense, that Becky and Charlotte would just attack Carmella, throw her out the ring, and then she would just come in sporadically trying to steal the win. And that way you could, like I say, you would hide her from whatever flaws that she has.
See, the thing is though, with this being a triple threat, that says to me that I think Carmella will walk away with the title. And even if I'm going to make a prediction that Asuka will have a shot next week and she'll face Carmella, and if she wins, she'll be added into the match as well. Because what have they got planned for Asuka at the moment? Nothing.
But then where do you go? Who's next for Carmella? It probably then would need to be Naomi. And Naomi's good and stuff, but she's not Charlotte or Becky Lynch.
No.
Why am I going to believe that if Carmella's just not so much ran through, but just beaten 3 of the best women on SmackDown, that Naomi's going to stand a chance? I think even if Asuka comes into it, I don't think Carmella leaves SummerSlam with the title. Probably
not, actually, when you think about it like that. When you mentioned Naomi there, do you remember she won the Battle Royal at WrestleMania?
No.
There you go.
Oh yeah, because now that he says it, like, she eliminated Bayley because Bayley thought she'd win. But like we said it last week on Outsider's Edge. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and the Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania, like, give it some sort of stipulation. Give it like the winner something other than a shitty trophy that no one cares about. Like, for the women, give them a title shot, and for the men, be like, whatever brand you're on, you either get an Intercontinental or a US title shot. Like, at least that way you have people intrigued by it.
I think that just goes to show that for the majority of the times, I know there's only been 3, 4, 5 of them in total now, but it doesn't really mean much going forward for them. These armbars. I mean,
like, honestly, tell me a winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal who's actually went on to like a quote unquote push or it's meant anything.
On a very small scale, Matt Hardy, because he quickly won the tag championships afterwards. I know that's in terms of importance, it's not a main event push, but it still did win something quite quickly after it.
No, I agree.
But the rest of them,
you
not
had
so
other
much.
guys like Baron Corbin and Big Show and stuff like that.
Who won it? Was it Mojo Rawley last year? Jesus.
See? And he's now backstage making threats to, random people who don't get on the show.
Bobby Roode.
Well, just turn him heel. But going back to the women, my bottom line is I have no issue with Charlotte being in that match whatsoever. I can understand why you would be. But match quality, like I said, is just immediately elevated.
Aye.
Like, that can't even be argued.
It has been elevated.
What is the issue here? Like, people now going to say, oh, Charlotte gets too many title shots. Well, she's the best fucking female wrestler in that company.
Yep.
Like,
that's debatable, but I know where you're coming from.
Well, the only other one would be who? Sasha?
Well, 4 Horsewomen and maybe Asuka as well.
I think Sasha Banks and Charlotte are out of the 4, I would put them 1 and 2, whatever order you want to put them in.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I understand if people are saying, well, she's getting too many title shots, etc. But she's fucking that damn good in the ring. Can't you just appreciate just how good she is in the ring and just appreciate that now you don't? Because first you were complaining having to watch Becky versus Carmella, but now you've actually got another bona fide star in that match who can wrestle, but you're still bitching and moaning about it.
Aye.
Some people just want to complain and be negative just because that's all because we don't have the capability to see past certain things, or we just don't want to see past certain things, or they're unable to look like 6 months down the line. While they're doing it now, they're going to benefit from this angle or whatever 6 months further down the line. I'm not talking about this match, but just in general.
Aye, they can't see. It's like, I can't remember the phrase, but they've got blinkers on. They're not willing to deviate from their opinion, which they're so set in stone with, which is fair enough. But you need to back it up with consistency. Exactly,
and for the most part, your opinion is fucking shit.
Mine?
No, I'm just saying in general.
All right.
Like, you hear the same stuff over and over again from the same people, and it's like you can't even for a moment like not so much appreciate. You can't even for a moment like understand maybe from a different angle. You can't come at it from a different perspective because they want it done their way, and that's it.
Did you know that Roman Reigns sneezed too loudly yesterday morning?
Like, I defend Roman all the time, but at the same time, when there's Roman does stuff that I don't like, and I don't know if you'll remember this, but I think it was before we started even doing the podcast, what were the 2 things I said time and time again about Roman I hated? I always said I thought he didn't sell enough, but now he's I think he's a great seller, and I still hate today that Superman punch.
Oh, it's dreadful.
Like, if Roman does stuff that he's not, that I hate, I'll say it. I'm not one of these guys that are going to defend everything he does or defend everything WWE does. But for the most part, I enjoy watching. Well, not for the most part. I do enjoy watching Roman. I'll defend him for the most part. But he's certainly not he's not in my top 5.
I think it has come to the stage now where it doesn't matter what he does, he'll be criticised for it. If it's a bad segment, it shows that he's terrible. If it's a good segment that comes off well, he's been overpushed. Just, you kind of win, so I'm not...
Like, that's it, and like, oh, he's not good on the mic, etc., etc. Folks, arguably the greatest of all time, and I wouldn't do it, but Kurt Angle himself says it, and Chris Benoit, folks, was horseshit on the mic. was just bland, wasn't that good at all on the mic, but in the ring he was virtually untouchable. And I know we're not, like, it's a kind of taboo subject, a taboo name, etc., but in the ring alone for his wrestling ability, the guy was virtually untouchable.
He was.
So, and this is where some people differ, and I know I differ from you, probably you, I know I differ from it with Rance. Like, I don't know if you're more so where Rance is coming from. He's more character driven. Yeah. I'm the opposite. I'm more so, you can give me the blandest guy if you want, but if that male or female produces like a 4 or 5-star match at a pay-per-view, I'm happy with that. But obviously sometimes you just get that perfect wrestler who's got great character work and with great wrestling ability, etc. And there's nothing wrong, like, there isn't a right or a wrong there. Like, if you like one thing, it doesn't mean you're wrong. Like, you know, it's subjective. We all like different things about wrestling. But a lot of people can't see that. A lot of people can't, or won't want to see, or don't want to see it, or won't admit it.
I've sort of leaned towards story quite a bit over the last year or so, but there are times when you see a great match which has no selling, just flips all over the place, and I do appreciate them, but I do, like, when I hear criticism of certain angles or certain wrestlers, I try and look at the bigger picture of what's going on, why they're doing it. There will be instances where I just don't like the story that they're telling, and I will be vocal about those things, but we're sounding like broken records here when we say try and be patient, aren't we?
Yep. When you say with flips and stuff, what was that match? Remember, it was a few years back where it was literally just big move after big move after high spot after high spot, and there was really no selling in it. I can't remember who it was now. Oh,
do you mean...
Was it Ricochet?
Ricochet and Ospreay?
Right, so for instance, that match, when people say there's no selling, etc., and that, like, I enjoyed that match. Like, I thought that match was, for what they'd done, was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I might not want to see it every week, because I don't think I've ever saw anything quite like it. I enjoyed it. But I don't know, like I said, we're all just different, but a lot of people won't accept it. Other people are different and like different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're the same. Like, to be honest, like, I think we're not quite WWE shows, but I think we may go out our way to defend it a little bit more, because I think we try and be subjective, we like to try and be more positive, because we can be overcome with hate and negativity if we allow ourselves to, but we try and look past that and just think, well, maybe they're doing it because of this reason, right? Though that kind of makes sense. But I would like to say we do sound like a broken record, but a lot of people just don't have the patience, and a lot of people don't want to give credit where credit's due. They'd rather just jump on the negativity.
The folk that have got a different ideals than us are broken records as well, you could say.
Mm.
But we're ICW shills now, not WWE.
No, I'm a Session Moff Martina show.
Bordering on unhealthy.
It's fine. But I'm not sure if anything else happened of note on.
Well,
Randy Orton continued his sort of his heel turn and once again destroyed Jeff Hardy.
Do you think this is a 2-man power trip with him and Naka?
Nah. I just think they've probably got a shared enemy. That's all. And the Bar.
Yes.
The Usos. Very happy to see the Bar back. I expect them to win next week. And to be honest, I kind of hope they go on and win the title at SummerSlam. Massive. I love what they've done at Raw for about 12 or 18 months or so.
Oh, brilliant.
In fact, do you know what? It all just kind of stemmed from that best of 7 Cesaro and Sheamus had.
Uh-huh.
And then from then it just sort of snowballed and it just got even better and better, and then they became a tag team and they've done some great things. So I'm hoping they win next week and then they go on to win the tag titles at SummerSlam.
Aye, I do hope that as well. It's not even a case of they should be rewarded with the Smackdown titles, and you've got all the other people who've been different, how would I word this, that have been drafted over. Quite a lot of the people who have been drafted have won titles when they move over.
So, well, look at this then, right? What have the Bar done to warrant being in that tournament?
Well,
on SmackDown.
It's a tournament of not so many tag teams in the division, though.
I know, right? But Charlotte wasn't automatically placed into that triple threat. She was given the opportunity to go into it, just like the Bar were.
Uh-huh.
I'm not knocking the Bar, but if you're going to complain about Charlotte being given an opportunity, what? Because she's either given too many opportunities or kayfabe-wise, what has she done recently? Well, the same applies to the Bar. What have they done? Nothing. They've been injured. So kayfabe-wise, why would they even be in the tournament?
Well, I don't know about that because they've still got a few more hoops to jump through to get there.
I understand, I know, but I'm just trying to be an arse about it.
Oh, really?
You know, like I would love the Bar to win it, but if you're going to complain about Charlotte getting that opportunity for one reason or another, you should be doing the exact same for the Bar, because kayfabe-wise, they ain't done shit to earn that opportunity on SmackDown. But
it's a tournament from scratch, though.
Well, I mean, Charlotte was technically placed in a qualifying match as well. You know, I'm not criticising it. But if you're going to criticise someone for doing something, then you need to criticise the other one for doing more or less the same. Okay. Just because they go through one more match doesn't mean they deserve to be in the mix.
I know, but there are a lot less tag teams than there are women.
That's fine, but any other tag team, kayfabe-wise, deserve to be in front of the Bar. Because at least they were there.
Yeah.
I know you won't agree, and like I know I'm just doing it to get a rise, but it's kind of true when you think about it.
I can't formulate a response properly, but I think we'll just need to agree to disagree.
No, I'm not advocating it. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. All I'm saying though is that if you're complaining about someone getting out, I don't like. I've saw people saying like kayfabe wise, why does she get another title shot? Because she's already had one recently, a few months back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the same breath, then kayfabe wise, the Bar ain't been on TV, but they come back and they're put into this mini tournament. So kayfabe wise, why did they get in there before any other tag teams on SmackDown?
Okay, fair enough. I think as well, looking at it from behind the scenes, they're wanting Charlotte in there in the lead up to Evolution as well.
Oh well, she's like the face of that division, so.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of the same with Roman Reigns as well. Like she's loved by millions, so that's probably why he's in the main event yet again. So that is what it is. I mean, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did the crowd start chanting "We want Roman" when Brock attacked Lesnar? Brock attacked Heyman?
As far as I'm aware, there were people claiming that it was "We want Rollins" and "We want Strowman," but I think that might have just been people not wanting to accept that it was "We want Roman." I'd need to listen back to it, to be fair, but...
Newsflash, folks. Not everyone hates Roman, and everyone that bitches and moans about Roman. Like I said before, there's millions of other people that actually do like Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Roman's over.
Roman is bae.
Well, he's not just my bae, but he's, you know what I mean? Like, people are just going to disregard a massive part of the fan base and just say they don't matter, when in reality they do.
he's going to the fan base who will buy the merchandise.
Exactly.
I know there's the sort of more hardcore fans will buy stuff, but they don't buy as much. Sort of even the trinkety stuff, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. No, I know. And at the end of the day, and like a lot of the things that we do are aimed at that specific portion of the fan base, like the younger generation. Just like when Cena was doing, when he was really Super Cena back like 10 odd years ago. It was a younger generation, the younger fans that he had more appeal to.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I said it on the podcast, I don't know when I've said it, but I guarantee you, a lot of those kids at the time who might have been 8, 9, 10 years old, fast forward now, and if some of them are trying to get into wrestling, I guarantee you, a lot of them would have said, I got into wrestling because of John Cena.
Uh-huh.
And now, fast forward 10 years down the line, a lot of those kids you see now are going to say the same thing about Roman.
Probably.
That said, I'm not Roman's biggest fan. I might have come across like it, but I've got many other people I prefer over Roman.
Aye, I know you're just on the wind-up half the time with it.
Yeah, but I'm at the wind-up, but at the same time, I'm kind of being serious as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he's a damn good wrestler. A damn good wrestler. Is he Almas or AJ Styles or Seth Rollins level? No, he's not, but very, very few people are, but he's in that next sort of bracket, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't buy into the notion that he needs someone like an AJ Styles, etc., to have a great match with.
Maybe not. You mentioned AJ Styles there. I think I'd said on last week's extravaganza episode of The Outsider's Edge that people are apprehensive about Roman Reigns being the champion again, but his last title run was pretty decent with the matches with AJ Styles and the Shield stuff that he had going on as well, when it was Seth Rollins and then I know he wasn't the champion in that triple threat with the Shield, but he was still in the conversation at the time, and that was some really good main event creative for a few months. So,
and fuck the other thing, man, he might not even leave SummerSlam as a fucking champion,
because it'll be Kevin Owens.
And I guarantee you, for the most part, people won't even be talking about how Roman beat Brock. It'll be how KO or Braun or whoever it was, maybe obviously one of those two, cashed in on Roman, and that'll be the lasting image from SummerSlam. So you all get your feel good moment and you get to finally cheer.
It's going to happen, isn't it, Kevin Owens?
I think so. I think even though Brock's scheduled for the next night, but you kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if something like he went on a rampage and just sort of destroyed everything and everyone, and Kurt or Stephanie or Triple H or someone come out or Vince and, but look, enough's enough, you're fired, and that's the end of him, sort of thing.
While you're talking about Braun Strowman, this is a random thing, and it's probably just going to be UK folk that understand it, but Jinder's been saying Shandy a lot recently, right? Do you know where I'm going with this?
Maybe.
Well, there's probably a drink in America as well where you have sort of half beer, half lemonade, and we have that over here, and it's called a shandy. So it's as if Jinder's basically looking for a nice relaxing tipple that you would have on a Sunday afternoon. You just, shandy.
Shandy is fucking disgusting.
Oh, away with yourself.
Horrible.
I often partake in a shandy while watching a Dwayne The Rock Johnson film. And I bet you Jinder does too.
He does.
So he can learn how to flex the pecs.
Oh, those roided up pecs.
Anything else you want to chat about? Or will we either talk about the quiz or more shit films?
No, from Raw, not exactly. Well, Brock was there for a change. Nah, nothing else really to say on Raw, if I'm honest. Seth and Drew was quite good. Yeah, that's about it. I think now, obviously, I think the Revival are now manoeuvred into get the title shot at SummerSlam.
Yep.
Which, probably long overdue in your eyes as well.
In my eyes, yes. I'm not confident they'll win, but we'll see what happens.
And then we've got Ronda's first ever Raw match next week as well.
Who's that against again? Sorry?
Alicia Fox.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I think that's about it. No, I've got nothing much else to say, but Cup took an F5.
He did. That'll be they'll have an Iron Man match again soon.
Shooting star press off the top turnbuckle or something
God.
stupid.
Oh, Big Brock, you mad nutter.
Imagine it was Cut that tried it this time.
He would as well.
He wouldn't even be able to jump up.
Never to get up again.
Cut. Right, that's all. I don't have much else to say.
That's all, folks. Night night. Right,
Nope.
Right, quiz time.
It's fucking quiz time with Ricky and Clive and friends. A fucking WWE quiz.
So last week I hinted at doing a 20 questions type thing. I didn't even hint at it, did I? I just told you there what we're doing.
Yep.
This was an idea brought to me by my brother, and we discussed this in a pub before the ICW. It's basically the 20 questions game where I'm thinking of something and Ricky has to guess what this thing is in 20 questions or less. As you would imagine, it's going to be wrestlers for this one. So there's not much planning involved on my end. I just have to pick a wrestler. Ricky has 20 questions to figure out who it is that I am talking about. Maybe we could even take turns tonight.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, don't know how long this will last. Might be too long. So we'll try it at one apiece first and see how it goes. We should set a rule that my brother had suggested that we say you guess incorrectly, it just cancels out. Will we just make it that counts as a question?
Yeah.
Right. Okay then. So let me roll through my Rolodex of wrestling contacts, and I have picked a wrestler. So you have 20 questions to guess who this wrestler is.
Okay.
And I'll keep count with my fingers and thumbs and toes.
Is it a male?
Yes.
Are they currently wrestling?
Yes.
Just so we know, is this anybody in the world?
WWE.
Or are we just WWE only? Right, okay. Male, currently wrestling. Are they on the Raw brand?
Yes. That's 3.
Are they... No, that's a terrible question.
What? I won't count this as a question.
No, it's fine. Do they currently hold a title?
Yes.
So that's what...
I sound like
Brock.
Daniel Bryan here. Yes.
Right, so that's either Brock or Dolph. Or, well, it could be Bo or Curtis Axel.
Oh, no, I'm wrong. No, they don't hold a title.
Right, then maybe they must have just held one then.
Ah, shit, I've given the game away a wee bit.
So who's just lost? Bray and Matt and Seth. Right, okay, was this man a member of the Shield?
No.
Okay, was this man the leader of the Wyatts?
No.
Was this one half of the Hardy Boys?
It was, and it is.
The broken one himself?
Wonderful!
Right, okay, I have one, go.
Are they a current wrestler?
No.
Oh, God. Are they a male?
Yes.
Are they alive?
Yes.
Were they ever a WWE champion in its many
Yes.
incarnations? Right, so that's 4 questions so far.
I feel like 20 is too much, by the way.
Well, you've narrowed it down to about 50, 60 people for me so far, so maybe not. Did they wrestle post 2000?
Oh, when? Yes.
Did they have a championship post 2000? Like the world title?
Oh. See, this is tricky.
Right, tricky Ricky. Right, I'll ask another question then. This is still question 6.
I'll explain later why that one was tricky, but on you go.
I think I know, so I'm going to steer my questions in a certain direction. Are they American?
No.
Are they Canadian?
Yes.
Are they part of a wrestling family?
Yes.
Do they wear purple sunglasses to the ring?
Purple?
Or pink, sorry.
Yes. With a pink tinge.
Is it Jim the Anvil Neidhart? No. Is it Bret Hart?
Correct. So the reason the 2001, right, was difficult because I couldn't say yes or no because it was WCW.
See, I know, I'm sure he beat Benoit for the title or something along those lines. Benoit and Bret Hart had 2 matches where one was a sort of Owen Hart tribute match.
What, WCW?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I couldn't say yes to it because if I said yes, I might have given you the impression that it took place in WWF.
Uh-huh. Your hesitation helped me quite a lot, to be honest.
Alright, okay, excellent.
Right. I've picked one. Right, go.
Okay. Is it a female?
Yes.
Is she currently wrestling?
No.
God. Did she ever win the world title?
Yes.
That does not help at all.
Because they all have at some point.
Did she make an appearance at the the Women's Royal Rumble?
Great question, and yes. That's 4 questions.
Was she American?
Yes.
Did she come back to the Royal Rumble with very short hair?
No.
It's not her then. You said she was American?
Uh-huh.
So who came back? Leah came back. Is she married to a wrestler?
I don't know.
It's not her then. Who the hell else came back?
I couldn't answer that other one off the top of my head. I will Google it right now, though.
What else can I ask? Has she wrestled outside the Royal Rumble post 2010?
No.
No. So we're going way back.
Yep.
Okay, right, so we're going way, way back. Did she win a title?
By the way, she was married to a wrestler. This is news to me, as far as I'm aware. Bizarre news to me.
Does she come from a wrestling family?
I'm not sure. Don't think so.
Right, so it rules her out. Right, so that leads me to think it's one of two women. Was she blonde in her like prime wrestling days?
Nope.
It's clearly not her or her.
Is that 10 questions?
Not sure.
So
at first I thought it was Molly Holly, but it's clearly not.
Nope.
Is it Ivory?
No.
Who is it?
Do you pass?
God, can I keep going?
Aye, there's been 11 questions. I don't know if that's true. I'm just now making the choice that it's 11 questions.
Okay, right, so...
I can actually hear the cogs turning in your mind right now.
Oh, it's not.
It sounds like you've forgotten who it was.
Oh, because...
Oh no, it sounds like you've forgotten that this person was in the Royal Rumble.
Who the hell could it be?
If you want, you can give up. For the...
Lita?
No.
So who the fuck else can it be?
For the listeners' sake, will I let you know who it is?
Is she married to a current a former world champion?
No.
It's not, I don't know who it is then.
Right, do you give up?
I need to.
Oh, finally. It's Jacqueline.
Was that not Ivory?
Oh, my God, Ricky.
Fuck.
Do you not remember Jacqueline?
Yes, I do.
You see why I'm holding my head in my hands? Do you see why I'm holding my head in my hands when you say, is that not Ivory?
I know, I got them mixed up, and I don't know how I can get mixed up. I don't even remember her being in the Royal Rumble at all.
Aye, she was not too bad. Not too bad, considering.
Why do I not? I don't remember at all.
Apparently,
right, anyway.
I don't know if this must be a lie. Apparently she was married to Goldust.
Was she? No, I wouldn't have got that because I don't remember her being in a Rumble whatsoever.
Right.
Fuck's sake. Right, I have... Can't do that one. Right. Go.
Is this person a male?
Yes.
Is this person American?
Yes.
Is this person a current wrestler?
Be more specific.
Are they currently in WWE?
No.
Are they a current wrestler?
Yes.
So they're on, this is number 5, they're in the independent scene.
If that's what you want to call it.
Did they previously wrestle for WWE?
Yes, remember it's WWE only this one.
Right, okay. Are they on Impact?
No.
Oh. Ring of Honor?
No.
Is that 8 questions?
The reason why I keep saying no is because I don't think this person is specifically tied down to just one promotion.
Right. Are they more famous for their work in New Japan?
No.
Oh, for God's sake. Right, so it's... You're saying Ring of Honor, no. You're saying Impact, no. You're saying New Japan, no.
Well, I'm saying he's not tied to any promotion. As far as I'm aware.
Are they white?
No.
Silly question. Are they black?
No.
Ah, right, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Are they part of a wrestling family?
Was he part of a wrestling family?
Well, that's not who I was thinking it was then.
I suppose you could say yes.
Did they have a junior in their name when they were in WWE?
Yes.
Did they have a famous uncle?
A famous uncle?
Oh, hold on a minute. It's one of two people. Does their first name have 3 letters in it?
Yes.
Right, is it Rey Mysterio?
Yes.
Excellent.
Not bad.
It's
I
good.
think we go one more each.
Are you sure?
No, why not?
Why not? Who cares who's listening?
the listeners actually pop for it, so... Well, I know one person does, but...
Right. Okay. Give me a wee second, listeners. Right, go.
Is this a male?
Yes.
Currently wrestling?
Yes.
On the Smackdown roster?
Yes. Imagine you just guessed who it was right now.
Male Smackdown roster. Do they have long hair?
No.
Is his surname a first name? That means no.
No.
Have they held any kind of title in the WWE?
Yes.
It rules out with him. Did this person just have a baby recently?
No.
Held a title in WWE Smackdown male, whether or not doesn't have long hair. Is it a former world champion?
Yes.
Has this person just made a heel turn?
No.
Oh.
Who's just made a heel turn on SmackDown?
Randall?
Oh, that guy. Big Brother Keith.
Right. Now I need to start running through the Smackdown roster in my head.
Who have been previous champs.
Previous world champions. Right, so it's not Joe, it's not Miz. It's not him. Is this person white?
Yes.
Is this person Irish?
To be sure, fella, to be sure.
Is this person Triple H's old workout buddy?
It is indeed Shamu.
I've not actually guessed who it is.
Well, how many Irish workout buddies has he had in his life?
I don't know, maybe it could have been Finn.
Or
I might have been confused what roster he was on.
Or it could have been Fit Finlay.
Exactly. Is this man pasty white?
When you asked me earlier, is this person white? I was going to go, you bloody well better believe he's white.
Right. I'll think of one now.
Shamu, Seamus and Paige go to the same anti-tanning salon.
Right. Let me see. Let me think. Are NXT people allowed to be?
Yes, they are.
Right. Oh, no, that's too easy and also too difficult. This one I was going to think of. I was going to think of Neville, but if you ask me if he's still wrestling today, I don't know how I'm supposed to answer that.
Technically he's not, he's sitting in his house sulking.
Yep. Oh, right, here we go. Right. Got one.
Is this person white? Why was that my first question? Oh, jeez, oh.
Why was that your first question?
I don't know, it was just the first thing on my head for some reason.
Yes.
Are they a current wrestler?
No.
Alright. NXT? That wasn't
No.
part of the quit. You said, right, okay.
No, it's not current. No longer wrestling.
Is this person a male?
Yes.
Is this person long haired?
No.
Alright, okay. Did they have to retire on medical grounds?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, well, that's that idea out of the window.
Who do you think it was? Edge?
Aye. Or Christian. Have they
Alright, no.
Have they held a world title?
Yes.
Are they American?
Yes.
American that's not wrestling right now with short hair and they're white.
Let's not forget that part.
Are they alive?
Yes.
Have they had a public falling out with WWE?
No.
Have they been released by WWE unfairly or just suddenly?
No. Who are you thinking of?
I don't know. I've not got a single clue. Not a current wrestler, a white previous world champion from America. Are they old now?
Oh, yeah.
I know, you know what I mean, no.
Yeah.
I mean old.
Yep. Are they white?
Have they been in trouble with racist comments recently?
You think I was actually going to think of that prick? Fuck you, Hulk Hogan.
Oh my god. Are they bald? No.
Sheer panic now.
I know. I'm tired and I'm panicking Skywalker here. So, how many questions have I had?
I have no idea, lost count. Let's just say 9.
Right. Are they... Oh my god, I was really panicking. Were they on Smackdown mostly throughout their career?
No.
I've got no step for a hint at all. I'm going to pass.
No, just keep asking questions.
Are they part of a wrestling family?
Yes.
Were they ever a tag team champion?
Yes.
Were they very tall?
I wouldn't say that tall, no.
Oh, for God's sake.
Be lucky if it was 6 foot, I think.
Are they under 6 foot?
What a shocking question that is. I think so.
Well, it was just a wee bit of comedy. Fuck's sake.
Ask me if I like this person or not.
Do you like this person?
I fucking hate him.
Oh, that kind of narrows it down a wee bit. And that was very strong words if it's who I think it is.
I despise this person. You know this.
I should really be pressing pause here.
Why?
Are they a 16-time champion?
Yes.
Very strong words about Ric Flair, Ricky.
I am not a fan, you know this.
Your namesake, of all people, that's where you got the name from.
It is far from it. Far from it. I'm cooler than Ric Flair.
Do you know there will be a few of our listeners who wholeheartedly agree with you there?
Jeremy will agree with me.
I think Jeremy likes his Ric Flair.
But I think he likes his Ricky as well, though.
You should start your own podcast and it should be called Rick's Flair.
Is that your joke of the day?
No, I've got one for you though.
Oh, fuck. Go on.
So, Paul White, we all know who Paul White is. He's starting he's obviously bald these days, but he's not wanting to be bald anymore, but he can't grow hair back, so he's doing a show on the actual network where he goes around fancy sort of hairpiece shops and toupee shops trying to find the right look for him, and it's called The Wig Show.
Just end the podcast on that note.
Thank you for listening, guys. We are at Ricky and Clive on Twitter and Facebook, Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show on Instagram. I do the 205 Live columns on Social Suplex, where you can also subscribe to other columns and the rest of the podcasts, which are Grown Men Watch This Shit, the indie show that we've got going on, Outsider's Edge, which we appeared on last week, Keepin It Strong Style, which is covering G1 Climax right now, and Rich Latta's One Nation Radio. James came on with Rich last the weekend there, and they had Chad Matthews on, who's got a new book out. Check that out. I believe Chad might be on Outsider's Edge this week as well, so a lot of love for Chad Matthews this week. Good stuff. Also check out the Wrestling Squared Circle Facebook group, where we are there to chat with and for Ricky to troll people with as well. Rate and review the podcast on whatever app you use, preferably iTunes because of hashtag algorithms. There we go.
Who did I troll on the Wrestling Squared Circle Facebook page?
You don't even know who it is because you just press the comment button and you just troll away. You don't even care who it is that you're replying to.
I mean, that's not entirely true.
Let me just read a tweet out to you that Ricky sent reasonably recently before we finish. Have you got any shout outs you want to do while I look for this?
Nope.
Well, thanks for making sure we don't have dead air. That's much appreciated.
Well, I mean, just whatever you've says, like, we appreciate people downloading and listening.
Found the tweet. Brock Lesnar turns up for about 10 minutes of TV time and makes millions. What a guy.
Like, am I lying?
No.
Am I lying? Anyone out there, right? They cannot deny that man's a fucking hero. If you can't admit that, then you're just hating.
Haters gonna hate.
Like, how can you hate? Like, I don't like Brock, right? But see, Brock, the businessman, man turns up for less, maybe about 6 or 7 minutes work, and gets paid like hundreds of thousands of pounds for it. And then we won't see him again for another couple of weeks.
So what you're saying is, you don't like Brock the character, but you like Brock the human?
I don't know about Brock the human. The Brock the human might be a piece of shit, but Brock the businessman is a genius.
He is.
Like, that was what I was getting at. Like, you can't hate on that at all. And he's not holding a world title hostage and all this nonsense either.
Vince is.
Yes. But that tweet, that was fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I disagree with you. Please stop using our joint Twitter account to post such shite, please.
Well, if you look through some of the stuff that I do tweet about a lot of things that are not wrestling related.
Yeah, I'll need to pick you up on about that as well.
Why?
I don't know.
It's going to go into overdrive in about 4 weeks' time when the NFL season starts again.
Oh.
Anyway, I got some whatever.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go before we start saying things we're going to regret to one another.
what like we do all the time anyway on WhatsApp.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Night. Thank you for listening, guys.
That's true. That is true.
Thanks.
Take care, guys.
Oh, this is bad.
Thank you for listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next time.